Good morning, everyone. So it's Friday, the 22nd of May 2020. I'm just going to go through and have a look at the markets. And yep, as you can see, I'm kind of recording from home. Early morning, it's 8:45 Friday morning. I'm usually up at about 7 most mornings. And then actually, so what I'll probably do going forwards, if I'm going to just do that, is I'll probably do my recordings a bit earlier, kind of 7:30, 7:45, and try and have them out to you by about 8 a.m. So I'm going to run through the markets and just let you know kind of what I'm having a look at. And so I'm starting off with Wall Street. Okay, so again, I'm going up to the 15 minutes. I'm going to go 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours daily. All right. So okay, so let's just do that. Sorry, I was going to say something else, but it doesn't. It's not really relevant now. So, okay, so here's the issue here, right? The daily doesn't really have a clear trend. This is undeniable. It's kind of, there's a high, low, lower, high, low, low, so it goes into a downtrend. But then it breaks, it goes to an uptrend. It's still range bound, so it's basically ping-ponging between it. And then when it's range bound, it'll keep testing kind of different levels and maybe go outside the range and then go back in the range and go to the outside the other end of the range. So it's a bit it's a little bit messy. And it's very erratic. So if you've been trading these lately and you're finding them kind of erratic, that's most likely why. So the issue we have is, again, no clear range on the 4 hourly. We now have a downtrend on the 1 hourly. So I'm just very cautious with that. And of course, when the US session comes online about 1:30 onwards, obviously it's officially 2:30, but I see the market often shifts at about 1 o'clock, 1:30. Then the market can change trend, or it can start becoming, if it starts going down in the morning, it can start heading up in the afternoon. So it just means I'm really, really cautious. We've kind of headed lower on the S&P 500. The tech is trending lower. The lower time frame looks great. The only problem we have is that it's pulling back into the moving averages. And an example is it could kind of drop and then close up higher by the end of the Friday night for the weekend, and then or Monday produce a bullish candle and take off again. So what I'm going to do here is let's just have a look at the momentum indicators. I'm going to go full screen on this so I can see that. Okay. All right. Just having a look at this now. So it's a little bit on the flat side. MACD is drifting a little bit lower. There's no clues there. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about divergence or like a little bit bearish or anything like that. Okay, that's fine. So it's just cautious. I'm always going to be cautious until that daily and weekly on a downtrend. Then I'm much more aggressive on this. And we're just in that kind of space, and that happens sometimes. So you can see here we've got the FANGs also doing a bit of a retracement. So basically there appears to be a bit of a retracement, and today could end up being a down day. So if I do take any shorts on these markets today, I'm absolutely going to close out before the end of day, just because Monday is a whole new week, and we could find we have another move up next week. Okay, so let's have a look at EU stocks, and again, I prefer the weaker ones, but a lot of these look pretty much as though there's some potential for them to go short today. So they're looking bearish. I'm quite liking the looks of these, even on that 15-minute time frame. Probably more on the lower time frames, 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour, but they're looking more bearish than bullish. The Hang Seng is looking like it wants to break down to the downside. It is already overextended on the 1 hour time frame. That's not great. And on the daily, it's dropped. So these kind of imply a potential down day for today. Okay, so this is a setup occurring on the Nikkei. I'd have a look at some of the Asian ones that look quite bearish. And so there's that. Okay, looking at the currency markets. Okay, so dollar is back up. So this is ping-ponging around. So we would have had it heading down in the beginning of the week, and now it's heading back up. It's just hovering and kind of circulating or circling. Sorry, I beg your pardon. CTD is a medical term called circling the drain. So when they say in it, if you ever see it in a TV show, they go, he or she is CTD, meaning they're basically going to die. There's nothing we can do. They're just kind of, it's called CTD. But I would say CTD here, meaning circling the dollar. So I just thought of that. No, I'm hilarious. Okay, so we got euro dollar heading lower. I think it's likely we're going to continue to see that happening throughout the day. I think that dollar is going to strengthen and try to finish the week to the upside. So that means intraday trading could be very much to the downside, which means be looking at that. As you can see, GBP is finally broken down aggressively. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is trickling lower as well. Kiwi, dollar, not so much so far, and it's kind of watching that 1 hour. It's breaking through support here, but it's there. You can see support resistance there, and a retest there could be good. I keep an eye on those, but basically looking like a stronger US dollar, and therefore those pairs looking to head lower. I think the dollar yen might have find some support. It is in a downtrend, so we'll see what happens. And dollar yen does its own thing, so don't be fooled. Dollar yen can completely go the same way as everyone else. It doesn't have to comply at all. Dollar Swiss is a no-no. Dollar CAD looks potentially very good for trading to the upside. So all of those are really good. My only concern will be the overextensions on the 1 and 4 hour time frame. So I would lean towards pairs that are looking really nice in terms of the trend, but are not as overextended on those lower time frames, because this is absolutely going to turn around throughout over the next 8 hours. I can't imagine that it'll do 8 more candles and then not take a breather. That would just be crazy. So it'll either stall or it'll start to take a bit of a breather. Okay, euro pairs not going anywhere. Look at that, mostly sideways. Euro Aussie, it's not great. Oh no, Euro Kiwi absolutely not. So you can just see there's no clear trend. If you compare Euro Kiwi as an example to compare it to say Euro CAD, there's a clear trend. So Euro Kiwi is a mess. Euro yen looks good. Look at that, very nice. A little bit overextended, a little bit on that downside. So there's a concern with that, but that is beautiful. These are, if we get conditions like this next week. So what would make me really happy is to get a bit of a retracement. So maybe no trades today, hypothetically speaking. Price pulls back, and then Monday it just carries on down. Okay, but what I have often seen is that Fridays the market can often just keep going. It'll push right to the last minute. So there is a 60% chance the markets will trend aggressively today right up until the close, and then Monday just take a reversal, and then Tuesday decide what they were going to do. Euro yen still looks good in that respect. Euro Swissy, Euro CAD not so much. Pound Aussie not as nice. It's still downtrending on the daily. It has done a bit of a retracement. Hasn't broken the previous high here, so there is that potential for that to continue. Possibly to the downside. Pound Kiwi, it's just very messy by comparison. Pound yen. So euro yen, pound yen looking good for trades to the downside. Pound Swissy, a little bit of a mess. It's still overall downtrending, so I might add that to my list. Pound CAD, no. There's too much of a change. It's downtrending on the daily, but it's kind of uptrending on the 1 hour and no clear trend on the 4 hour. So for today, not worth it. Aussie Kiwi. Okay, so Aussie Kiwi has come back down to a level of support, potential resistance, potential support, and it's overextended. It looks like it wants to do a bit of a retracement. So I'm a little bit cautious of that one. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. But look at the quality of the trends as well. Aussie yen, so euro yen, GBP yen, Aussie yen, they look quite good for those downtrends. Aussie Swissy is starting to head a bit lower. It's got some strong resistance on the daily. It has got higher lows. So as soon as if I'm going to trade this to the downside, it's not going to be very far, potentially down towards 6.3 or 0.63. Aussie CAD, no, not so much. Kiwi yen, yeah, no. Kiwi Swissy. So some of them, I could squeeze the trade out of them, but it's not worth it if there's 2 or 3 other charts that are better than that. Swissy yen, you can see the angle of price action is slowing down. Okay, so it's quite a strong angle here and then flattening out. So that is usually an indication that as you go up the time frames, it's overextended and it's basically going to do a retracement. So if you look over here on that 4 hour, you've had quite a big move down, and so I would say it's potentially coming into an area where it wants to do a bit of a bounce. So that's a pass. CAD yen, similar. It's a bit overextended. That angle, very aggressive here. Then it pulls back. Then it goes there. Then it pulls back. It's starting to put the brakes on. Okay, so that's running out of steam slowly. CAD Swissy, no. Let's look at gold. Okay, so gold is rebounded. It's still in a downtrend on the 4 hourly, but it is now has pulled back to a level of support. That was an area. So you can see if you look at the previous daily videos I've done, I highlighted that area. So this is looking good. So what that means for me is cautiously trading it, looking for entries today to the upside, but almost certainly looking at a potential trade on Monday. So if it closes as a nice bullish candle today, that could be a swing trading opportunity obviously because the market's going to close, I'll place my order on Sunday night. Spot silver has pulled back, bouncing off the high of last week. So that could also ultimately set up. So cautiously. Crude oil's now heading a bit lower. That's okay. Nothing there. Crude. So I'll stay out of those. They're still within an uptrend on the daily. So pullbacks down to these levels actually make sense as potential long entry opportunities down the line. Bitcoin is just not really going anywhere. I would stay away from those. I will be staying away from those. There's no clear trend. And that's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with that. Excuse me. There's quite a few opportunities that actually might be in the markets today, but I think I'll probably make sure that I'm wrapping up by about 3 o'clock. Clive, if you end up watching this, I'll be interested in your input here as well. Whether there's a kind of a particular time on Fridays that you just kind of like, okay, I'm out of the markets at that point. But yes, there are some pairs that will often just keep moving right up until the close of the markets tonight, 8 o'clock UK time. All right, ladies and gents, stay safe and have a good weekend.